As we have discussed about the definition of seasoning, now we have two important methods of seasoning, and they are the natural seasoning and artificial seasoning. If we talk about the natural seasoning, this is too called as air seasoning, and the most common process of seasoning in which timber planks cut from the wood logs are stacked in open air. The requirements for air seasoning are the stack ground, stack pillars, and stack proper. Stack ground, it should be level and free from any debris. Then the stack pillar, they are made of bricks or concrete and are about 50 centimeter in height from ground level. If we talk about the stack proper, these are made of sleepers or planks. The stack length and height depends upon the length of the wood part being seasoned, and on singles and a single stack may be 3 to 4 meter in height. Most important thing to be kept in mind is that we should ensure that there is free circulation of air around each part of the wood placed in the stack, but the stack should be free from direct winds and direct sun heat, as it may result in the evaporation in excess, which leads to the shrinkage of wood. It should be remembered that that due to the air seasoning, moisture content cannot be brought below 16 to 17%. Then we have another important type of seasoning, that's called as water seasoning. This is done in case of freshly cut wood in order to expel out the sap from the cells. For this case, water logs are placed in the running water so that the sap is easily washed out. In the place of sap, the cells get filled with ordinary water, and such logs are then air seasoned or then put to air seasoning. We have another method of seasoning, that is artificial seasoning or kiln seasoning. It's also called as kiln seasoning. It involves the drying of timber in specially desired kiln where there is a perfect control over temperature. By this method, the moisture content can be reduced to a minimum of 6%. Another important method of seasoning is the chemical seasoning. This is too called as salt seasoning. In this method, the timber to be seasoned is treated with chemical solution like sodium chloride or sodium nitrate or urea. This results in lowering down the vapor pressure on the surface of application, as a result of which the sap from the inner cells expels out. Then we have seasoning by boiling. It's the quickest method in which the timber to be seasoned is immersed in water, and water is heated to a boiling temperature for 4 to 5 hours. The sap is washed out by this process. After boiling, the timber is placed in air. Another important method of seasoning, but not of so much importance as are the other methods, because it's not so practical. That's the electric seasoning. It is theoretical concept, as wood is a bad conductor of electricity, but when the high alternating current is passed through wood, heat is generated which is high enough to dry out the moisture content from the wood. Decay of timber. Decay means the deterioration of timber, and it's mainly caused by mostly due to the fungi and insects, as they consume or they grow in the damp situations over wood. Three main types of fungi known to cause the destruction of wood are the white rot, the brown rot, and the blue stain. White rot, this type of fungi destroys the wood by consuming the lignin part of the cell tissue, leaving behind light colored cellulose part in the rotten form. If we talk about the brown rot, it eats up the cellulose part, leaving behind the brownish lignin part in the rotten form. And if we talk about the blue stain, it is a fungus that lives on sugars and starch in the cell tissue. Another important kind of decay is the mold. It's a cotton-like growth of fungus spread over the various parts of the surface or board. It may not spoil the inner parts but its appearance is quite displeasing. Insects also destroy wood. Insects like the white ants are the most destructive insects known to destroy the wood. They belong to the group of insects called termites. Other insects known to destroy the wood are pole borers, ship borers, and marine borers. Now we require the preservation of timber. There are three important methods of preservation of timber, and the important methods are application. We can apply some chemical substances called preservatives on the surface of timber. or we can inject the preservatives into the body of the timber, or we can use a protective covering around the timber that's being used in the construction. Now, what's a preservative? A preservative is defined as a chemical compound that, when used or injected into the timber, makes the timber poisonous for insects and fungi without affecting the structural properties of the wood. The preservative may be oil soluble salts like coal tar, which belongs to this category, and we have water soluble salts like zinc chloride and copper sulfate. Now, methods of preservation. Preservation of timber is done by 4 important methods like the brush application, dipping, open tank application, and pressure process. When we discuss about the brush application, the timber is given 1 or 2 coatings of preservative with the help of brush in the extreme sides or on the sides of the beam, which is to be embedded into the wall. Then we have dipping. If we talk about the dipping, the timber part to be treated is made to dip in the preservative and kept immersed for few hours. If we talk about the open tank application, in this case timber is kept immersed in a suitable metallic tank containing preservatives. The tank is then heated to 70 degree to 80 degree for several hours, which ensures deeper penetration of preservative into the tank. After this, the timber is allowed to cool in the tank so that the timber may actually suck a lot of preservative and ensure complete penetration. And if we talk about the pressure process, this is the best applied method, which involves the passage of preservative into the timber under pressure. It may be a full cell process in which vacuum is created before preservatives are forced into the timber, or it may be an empty cell method in which no vacuum is created in the beginning. The main advantage of pressure process is that it ensures proper and deeper penetration of preservative into the timber.